RP Luffy I wanted to mention, I saw Munchlax cook an RP Luffy build, which is basically just Roger, but you have Giant, so I'm gonna put him next to Roger. I know that sounds crazy, because like, who the fuck is this guy? But looking at the deck, and then in theory, right, the deck should literally just be Roger, but good. Like, I don't know, like, if you have access to Giant, like, imagine if I had access to Giant as Roger, right? That's now the best deck in the game. Well, assuming that you would not lose your 7k boost, right, by going down minus. This deck is now the best deck in the game, because now you can get rid of the bricks, and you are still like a big-ass leader, and like you don't have to worry about people just mashing everything on one, like going down to 0 and everybody mashing on one character and just swinging through you because you don't have any blockers, because you have like triple Giant in hand, right? You don't have to worry about anything. So I think this leader could have a lot of potential if people keep cooking.
Hello everybody, my name is Fancy Munchlax. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a red-purple Luffy deck list. So it's not red-green Luffy today. I know, maybe I'm disappointing, but red-purple Luffy is like my original leader I started playing the game with all the way back in OP15. And with the new buffs it's gotten 3 new buffs lately, 4 kind of, maybe not so recent. Anyway, we got a bunch of new buffs, like some really good buffs for this deck, so I thought I'd share a deck list. A disclaimer is you lose to purple now really hard. There's like almost impossible to beat purple now. If you can do it, congrats. But it's not like if you expect a lot of purple now, I wouldn't recommend this. But it's actually really good into the rest of the meta. Like your Lucy matchup is decent. Your blue yellow Nami matchup is fine. Like you actually have a pretty good matchup spread outside of the purple and now matchup. Like if I go to, hang on. Yeah, so your ace matchup is very good. If you go second, and you just go Mr. 2, 7 cost Sorrow into Shanks, you actually just auto-win. So when you have a good Lucy matchup, a good Nami matchup, a decent ace matchup, a Kagura is fine. You have a bunch of like good to favored matchups in the meta, which makes the deck really strong. So I'm gonna go through the deck list because this is like a more obscure deck. So our searches, we have Nami as a top 5 Straw Hat searcher, and Garp is a top 4 that grabs any 3 cost model. So it grabs our ramp in like its Stifle and Bonclay, and it also grabs our high end like our Rogers, our Zoros, and our Shanks. So this is like the most versatile search because it grabs us the most. But this Nami searches, I guess it searches Zoro all of our 2Ks and our 7 cost Zoro and Giant. This is the one that gets Giant. So like that's kind of the main reason, right? Giant's the most broken card in the game. For 2Ks, we run 8 2Ks. I never used to run that many in this deck. I don't really know why. Just wasn't a fan. So Sanji gives a Straw Hat character only, unblockable, and also rest of 5 or less. You can definitely like change these up. If you want to play this as a searchable Garb target, you can. I don't know what that would be, but you know, it's an option. And then so, Zorojuro is if you have, wait, the leader effect. So if you have 8 or more Don cards, you can add 1 Don from your Don deck as active. So you can use it to ramp to 9 or 10 Don, and then if you have a minus effect throughout the game, then you can then use your leader effect to get a free Don. So I'll go through some of the combos that you can do with that in a minute. And you're also just a 3-life, 6,000 power leader. A 6,000 power leader is a pretty big number. So yeah, those are the 2Ks. Mr. 2 is a full cost 1K on play ramp 1 as active, and then when attacking, you can copy a base power of opponent. So if your opponent has something like a 12k Newgate, for example, you can actually copy that and be a 12k full cost. Very strong. Like, literally the best ramp card in the game, in my opinion. Having counter, ramping as active, being a full cost, and yeah, it's just so good. We also run this hand rip Zoro. This is like the Zoro lore. This is the flex space in the deck, so you can add something like Divine Departure if you feel the deck is bricky. I personally didn't feel the deck was that bricky, but you know, this is kind of what I'm used to as a red purple Luffy player. Like 16 bricks used to be what I used to play. So like we have 4, 8, 12, 15, 19 if you count Dragon. You know, so it can get a bit bricky, so if you wanted to add Divine Departure in this slot, you could. But I find this really valuable. So being a full cost 5k blocker, with a Dom -1, if your opponent has 7 more cards in their hand, they trash 2 from their hand at random. So there's like a purple pudding, kind of. It's not as good, but it is a blocker as well and a 5k body. And because it has Dom -1, in the late game, if we're already at 10 Don and we haven't used our leader effect, we can go full cost -1, leader effect, add that Don back as active. So this law was effectively a 3 cost, and then you can still play something like a Rush Zoro, where so you rip 2, you get a blocker, you play the Zoro, and become an AK leader. And then we also have this Die 4. This is like a 3 cost ramp event, but if your opponent has a 6k or more, you ramp an extra one, and it has a trigger to ramp. Like, I was going to play a different ramp card, but I think it rotated, so this is kind of like a backup. Seeing our ramp is very important in this build early on, so just making sure that you have it by playing this extra ramp piece is pretty nice, and sometimes it comes out of life, not often, but it can do. Then we have like this is like the best card in the deck. 7 cost 9k. On play, you give your leader 2k until the start of your next turn. So you become an 8k leader on 7 Dawn, which you can ramp to, so you can go like 2 Dawn, do nothing, or search or whatever. 4 Dawn, you play Mr. 2 and ramp, and then on your, what should be your turn 3, you actually get to play this 9k body that makes you an 8k leader, and then the turn after that, you can drop a 10 cost Shanks. Which is kind of insane, right? Like, I can't be the only one that thinks it's really, really good. And then Roger is like Zoro, but kind of not as good, because the Zoro gets character rush if your opponent has an 8k or more body, which comes up a lot into like Lucy or Enel. But not so much into like the smaller decks. But it's still like a 7 cost leader buff by 2, and we used to have to play something like a 9 cost for that, where 9 cost Newgate would have been like the same thing, but 2 Don more expensive. And then we have this Roger. Roger is like very similar, it's just an 8 cost 10k. If somebody has 10 Don, either you or your opponent, you become an 8k leader. So if your opponent doesn't have like an 8k body, so your Zoro wouldn't be getting the rush, because this is like 1k bigger than your 7 cost, sometimes it is better if you just to play it just if you have a spare Don, right? And then we have Giant. So this is you know what the Giant does. It's an insane counter event. So if your opponent goes really tall at you, get a bunch of value out of this counter from Giant. But if they try to go wide, you know that you have your 8k leader and you have your Shanks if that's on the field. So you punish them from going tall and going wide. So like this Giant is incredibly strong, and it cycles your bricks as well. So yeah, A+ card, broken. And then we have 10 cost Shanks. So 10 cost Shanks is a lot better than it used to be because of Lightning Dragon. But I'll show you what this card does first. So this is a 10 cost 12k. All of your opponent's characters gain minus 1000 power, your turn and theirs, and it has Rush. So big beat stick, swings on the turn it plays, so you're effectively like, it effectively reads kill one of your opponent's characters or make them take a life, with the passive -1. And now, so the issue with this card used to be that on the turn you played it, you'd be relatively vulnerable. Because you do get the -1 to your opponent's dudes. But other than that, you wouldn't have a donk for Giant, you wouldn't be a 7k or 6 or 8k leader. You know, you'd just kind of be in a really vulnerable spot, especially if this got Red Rock. But now that Red Rock is out of the format, and we got this Lightning Dragon, it's actually you're normally a lot safer to drop this Shanks. So this Lightning Dragon, what does it do? It's a 0 cost Dom -1 event that's just reads draw card, which is already insane for this deck, I'll explain in a second. And then up to 1, then you stun a 6k power character, and that's not base power. So if you have a 10 cost Shanks, that can actually be stunning a 7k, and then because you're playing red, I haven't really found a great power removal option other than 6 cost Brook. If I go Brook, it won't let me search. Brook is like a really good card. I want to play around a build that like uses this again. But anyway, so this, if you get a 10 cost Shanks out, if you haven't used your leader effect, you can go play Shanks, play Lightning Dragon, take the free draw, -1, stun a 7k because Shanks gives -1, and then use your leader effect to add 1 Don back, effectively making this a +1 Don card that doesn't cost you any cards in hand to play because it drew you a card, and then it's stunned to 7k. You don't have to be a genius to see that that's insane value. Yeah, so that's generally the deck list. Like, you could probably play 4 Shanks, but like you got to be aware about how bricky you're getting in this. You don't always you're not always able to play Shanks, especially if you've gone from 7 Don to 10 Don, and then you don't have then you won't be able to leader effect after your Lightning Dragon, and you wouldn't have a Don for Giant. So like, yeah, this is like the most consistent I could make the deck. Because you need to be finding the Zoro and this Roger. Like, it's really important. I was going to add the 2 cost Nami, but like 2 Don for a searcher is just too expensive, because then at that point you're taking away from your other ramp cards also. Yeah, that's all. I'll get into some gameplay, potentially, maybe, and I'll let you be free. Yeah, so in this first game we lose dice rolls to an ace player. This is actually a decent hand. We have the die 4, which we could potentially play turn after next if he plays a full cost Marco, because it will give us a double ramp. But here we just play the Zoro and pass. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we just take a 9k, obviously. He didn't play as Marco, which is nice. Here you should go 6 with the Zoro, then play the Mr. 2, and then go 7 with Leader. I think we play the Mr. 2 first. I don't really know why I did that, but your correct line here is just to play just to swing with the Zoro first. Because it just doesn't tell your opponent that you're playing a Mr. 2. So they can just like counter out. They have like more information of what you're doing to counter out with. Because it's possible, like, normally they would pitch an Atmos, but they don't pitch an Atmos, potentially, if they know that it can bounce back the Mr. 2. It's like small things like that can add up. And here he goes 6, so we just give him 1k. Ignoring that Zoro feels, like, really weird. I don't see why he wouldn't kill the Zoro. I don't know. And here we just get to slam the big dude. Because we double ramped and Lido makes it a triple ramp. So obviously it's just an 8 cost into a 10 cost 8 cost event, letting him play the 10 cost. He goes double 8k swings here, which means we just take one counter the other. We draw a Lightning Dragon, which isn't like bad, but it's not great. His second Lightning Dragon is just a little bit bad, because this time we can go the Zoro into Character Rush to kill the Zozu. So the Lightning Dragon stunning things, it doesn't matter because it won't stun. It's just like a 0 cost cycle. And here the Lightning Dragon actually draws us into a 4 cost law. So you should swing with the 8k with the Leader because he was at 10 cards, or he was at 9 cards, so 8k Leader tries to bait 2 cards from his hand, and then he'd still be at 7. And because he's trashed 2 cards he doesn't want, the odds of you ripping a card that he does want from his hand are even higher. Because you've made his hand, you've taken out some of the bad cards that he doesn't want from just the swing, so you're more likely to rip the cards he does want. And then we kind of just like punch the rest of his face. He goes for another 10 cost. Duh. And we block with the law here because we don't want to play into the Roger, the 10 costs. Because we would lose if we go to 0 when he has the Roger. So we start the 12k swing to see if he takes it or blocks or whatever. If he goes blocker, it gives us maybe a chance to go into the 10 cost Nugget. Which he does. So there's like it's possible you could try to kill the Nugget here, but that wouldn't be great because you don't have a giant in hand, so he'd probably still die. So I think about swinging the 9. But like 9 is not even a good number here. And if we swing with the 7 cost Zoro first, this unblockable Sanji won't have a good target because it only gives characters unblockable, Straw Hat characters, so you'd have to give it to 3 cost, which isn't good. So with the 8 here, he actually takes it, which means we just win. Yeah. I don't know why he took that, but it kind of just shows you, like, people don't play around the unblockable. I guess he was trying to go to 0 so he could use his own Roger. And Last Life was actually a giant, so we probably would have lived if he just played the Roger. So on to the next game. It's starting a little bit late, but it's just against a blue alone army. So here you should probably play Mr. 2, then swing 7. I don't know why I swing 6 here. I guess I want to go Mr. 2 into the Searcher. But I also don't search, so that just makes no sense. Yeah, I couldn't explain to you why I did that. Okay, Brona stuns the Mr. 2. It was very unlikely to swing with the Mr. 2 anyway, so we don't really care about that. Because he's going to be a 7k leader and it's only copying a 5. So we have a 1k for the Mr. 2 because there's not really a timing to play the Mr. 2s after curve. And now we just play the Zoro. And next turn we can slam the Shanks, and now that they don't have Red Rock, the Shanks are just going to cause them massive problems for the rest of the game. He tried to use the Quasar for counter, but it didn't work. That's very odd. I didn't actually notice that in the game when I played it. Okay, he goes for another Piranha, stunning my dude again, and swings 8. Swings 9 even. So we probably just give him the 2k. Here we get to go to 10. We swing 9 first. I don't know the correct order in, like, if you swing ascending or descending swings into Nami. Here we go to 6 to get it. I think it's just better to start with the 6, to be honest. But I don't think it makes much difference. Let me just play the Shanks. Because now with 5ks or 4ks, and it's very unlikely they're ever swinging. And if he's investing 2 cards for a 6k, 2 Don for a 6k swing, I'm not really complaining. It's just not good. And then, hopefully for the rest of this game, we're going to be an 8k leader. Okay, he goes for Borsa. He'll probably do one more big swing and then pass. Everybody loves Borsalino. I guess Rosario as well, so we just like all the healing cards. The healing is actually really good to us because each life has got a lot of counter value to it because all our swings are so massive. So just like healing one life to get out of it like a 12k shank swing, it's like really big. We should give him another Mr. 2 here because we're not going to play them ever again. It's possible that we would play one this turn if we don't find a big dude, but also if we don't find a big dude, like we're in a really bad spot. We start the Garp here because it gets the Roger and it can search Roger and the Zoro, but we find the Zoro in the next one anyway. This doesn't get character rush. I always just check, just in case. So we have an 8, 9, and a 12. We're actually going to Lightning Dragon to cycle the brick, I would imagine. It'd be really weird if we didn't. And that also lets us play Nami to look for a giant, because we would have an extra Don. Yeah, so it gives us 2 cards for that. I would expect him to block with the Borsalino, so he has the card in trash for the trigger, in case he gets lucky with it. But he doesn't. So it triggers that, stops Mr. 2 from attacking. I don't think he's attacked at all. No, he definitely hasn't. So we go this, and I assume we search looking for giant. And we don't find it, but we do find a 2k, which is still fine. And now we're an 8k leader, his entire board is debuffed. This game is basically over. Like, there's nothing he can actually do to win. Because, like, with Red Rock gone, like, it's actually just so much harder for blue, yellow Nami to deal with these, like, massive go-tool decks like we are. Yeah, I just don't even see what he can do at this point. Like, all of his swings are like 3 to 4 Don just to meet my leader's threshold, and then he has to commit even more. So I assume it's like 5 player Borsa. Like 10 player Borsa. I think we just take a 10. Look for the giant. We don't need to give him 2 cards. That's like half our hand size. We just don't need to counter out of this. Also, taking this means we could find another leader buff. We find a giant, which is also pretty good. So he could go like 10 with the Zoro again, so we would just giant. Oh, he does. 8? No, it's just 10. So we're giant out of this one. We don't find a leader buff, so we might just kill him this turn. Yeah, we have the blocker, so we could play that. But we just kill him, I think. Unless he has like a lucky Borsa trigger. Quasar trigger. But like, we've seen two Quasars in trash already. We go 7. Okay, I would have gone 6 with 7 with leader because it's just one less on investment. What does he have? Is it the trigger? It's a Gecko trigger, so he plays like a 4 Zoro maybe. I don't remember. I don't know what he has in trash, and it won't let you click on the trash while he's doing the trigger for some reason. We should just win, right? There's like no way for him. So yeah, we win. Unless its last life is a Borsa. So we just go like 7 with leader. And there's no trigger, so we win. Yep, 2 fast games for the video. Subscribe please.